Well, we'll keep an eye on that. Well, Erica's gonna like all the sticky core work. Okay, so we're gonna start lying on our backs. When you lie down on your back, we're gonna start in Supta Baddha Konasana. So make sure you've got your two blocks. You can use a blanket if you'd like to be underneath your head. You can put the blanket on your lap, whatever you'd like. But we're gonna start lying down, soles of the feet together, knees open and splayed like a book. And I guess we'll all just start with our head that way for today. I did, but the sun is up, so it's like maybe you don't want your face in the sun. That is probably true. Oh man. Okay. So when you find yourselves on your back, take a moment to either allow the hands to rest on the body where it's comfortable for you or let the arms rest off the body. And you'll just take a few moments in this shape to just start to settle in. And sometimes it helps to settle by physically actually moving the body in any way that you need to, so it feels like the right and the left sides are equally supported. Sometimes it helps to settle to notice what things you carried into your practice with you. Sometimes it can be like things that are going on afterwards or something that just happened, and you can just allow your awareness to rest on the fact that your mind is not quite here. And then what finally helps to settle is you can say, okay, now bring me back to my breath. And so start to consciously deepen the breath. And it might help if you just take a few audible breaths in and out through the mouth and just allow that to bring your awareness into this moment, to bring your breath into the body, into deeper spots, to bring the mind into the body to deeper spots. And then once you feel like you found your breath and you found this moment, you'll start to tone the back of your throat, close your lips, and consciously breathe in and out just through the nose. And as we're allowing our mind to start to really settle into the breath and settle into this moment, I'd like you to notice how the breath is moving in and out of the body. Is it equally filling up as well as emptying, or is there more of a propensity towards the inhalation or more of a propensity towards the exhalation? And it doesn't really matter. You're just noticing what you notice. And as best as you can, allowing yourself to be fully and completely with your breath, with this moment, with this experience. And you'll take about 3 to 4 more breaths on your own. And we're just using this as an opportunity to really fall into rhythm with ourselves, fall into rhythm with our life as it happens to be at this moment in time. Now, at the end of your next exhalation, the hands will come to the outer edges of your thighs. Close your knees together like a book and let your feet rest firmly on the floor. And just take a moment to spread wide through the feet and feel how the feet feel connecting with the floor. Notice how the pelvis feels. Notice how the backs of the shoulders feel, the neck, the head. And then if your feet are not hip distance apart, walk your feet hip distance apart. And then just draw your right knee into your chest. Interlace your hands at the back of your right thigh, so you're in between the thigh and the calf. And then just take about 5 ankle circles one way. And you're still just breathing deeply. You're letting that left shoulder drop towards the floor. And after you've gone 5 circles one way with the ankle, switch directions and go the other direction. And you're again continuing to stay with your breath. Fantastic. After you've done 5 circles both directions, go ahead and come to stillness with the ankle, and then just take a few circles with the thigh bone in the hip socket. So imagining that your thigh is a spoon and the hip socket is a bowl. You're really stirring that spoon in that bowl very deeply. And again, you're going to go both directions an equal number of times. And then check in with your breath. Have you stopped breathing? Or at least consciously breathing. Fantastic. Once you feel even between both sides, go ahead and come to stillness. Really press into your left foot. Notice how the left foot is pressing into the floor. Drop your left hip down into the floor a little bit more so it feels as weighted as the right hip. And then inhale, start to kick your right leg up towards the sky, flex through the foot, then point through the toes. And then exhale, bend the knee, flex the foot, hug the thigh into your chest. We've got 5 of these. Inhale, extend up through the legs, point out through the toes. Exhale, flex through the knee, flex through the hip, bending at the ankle. Awesome. 3 more on your own. Every time you extend the leg, really push your thigh into your hands. And every time you bend the knee, really pull the thigh into your chest. Fantastic. The next time you straighten your right leg, you're going to go ahead and stay there for a few breath cycles. Now, again, you want to pay attention to what's happening in your left foot. So really press into the left big toe mound evenly, press into the outer left hip. You can choose to point the toes if you'd like, or flex the foot, whatever feels best to you. You might even circle the ankle while you're up there, but you're still kicking that right thigh into your hands as best as you can as you pull the hands into the thigh and you breathe quite deeply. Awesome sauce. At the end of your next exhalation, come to stillness with the foot. Go ahead and bend the knee, plant the right foot on the floor and pause. Cross your left thigh over your right thigh. It's like you're sitting in a cute dress, the left thigh over the right thigh, yep. And then pull your legs towards the left, open the arms out to the right and to the left, and maybe you look towards the right. And you're resisting, so that right leg doesn't want to go to the floor. And you're finding a nice little stretch across the TFL, the tensor fascia lata, on that right hip. And you're letting the legs fall as much as they will towards the left. Nice work. Next inhalation, let's go ahead and come back up through center. Replant both feet, hip distance apart, and just notice what you notice here. And then notice the breath. Let the breath be full, let the breath be even. At the end of your next exhalation, draw the left knee into the chest, interlace behind the hands behind the back of the left thigh. And then you're going to take 5 ankle circles one direction. Check in with your right shoulder, make sure it's dropping towards the floor. Make sure you're still continuing to breathe. Here we go. And then switch directions if you haven't already. And we're just allowing ourselves to drop into this moment, feeling how that feels. Fantastic. After you've done 5 circles both ways, come to stillness, and then you'll move the thigh bone in the hip socket. So it might feel like you're creating circles with the knees. But again, check in with that right foot. Really push the right foot into the floor. Yeah, and keep your right pelvis rooted so that we're isolating the movement just in that left hip. Nice work. Okay, once you feel stable and even between the two sides, go ahead and come to stillness. Inhale, you'll start to kick your left leg up towards the sky, flexing through the foot, then pointing through the toes. And then exhale, bending the knee, flexing the foot, hugging the knee to the chest and hip towards the heel. Yep, and then you'll do that 5 times. And you're just slowly working through the breath, slowly articulating through the feet, through the thigh, through the hips. Noticing what it feels like to really be in your body in this moment in time. And then again, what's happening with that right foot? Yeah, press into the inner edge of the right foot a lot so that the hip stays rooted. And I'm sorry, I was not counting. I think that should have been 4. Was that it, Sandy? Okay, we'll say this is our 5th one. So go ahead and stay up with the leg extended. And then kick your left thigh into your hands. Really pull your hands into the thigh. And then notice, do you want to point your foot? Do you want to flex your foot? Do you want to take some ankle circles here with that left foot? But then the right foot, that right inner edge is really rooting down so your right butt cheek can become a little heavier, just as heavy as the left butt cheek. Fantastic. Notice if you're grimacing in your face. There we go. And then on your next exhalation, you'll gently release, plant both feet on the floor. Then cross your right thigh completely over your left. You will resist this, open your arms to the right and left, and then slowly let the legs drop over towards the right. And you're resisting. So the left leg is saying it doesn't want to go. The right leg is gently coaxing it into it. And you ideally should hopefully feel something on the top of our hip flexor on the left side. Yeah, okay. Awesome sauce. And then as you're ready, you'll gently inhale. You'll come back up through center. You'll uncross both legs, plant the feet hip distance apart. Just notice how the pelvis feels, the feet feel, the shoulders feel. And then at the end of your next exhale, hug both knees into your chest. Little Asana, wind relieving pose. Very gently bring your hands to the inside edges of your thighs. Grab the outer edges of your feet and pause. Press the soles of your feet together as best as you can. So pinky toes especially. Squeeze your outer hips, widen your knees as far away from you as you can. As you pull your pinky toe edges towards your navel and your knees away from your armpits. And just breathe here for 3. You'll breathe here for 2. Notice how heavy your butt is on the floor. You'll breathe here for 1. Fantastic. Next exhale, release the feet, plant the feet firmly on the floor. And then one at a time, extend your legs long beneath you. If you have anything underneath your head, yeah, you can keep it there for a moment, but we'll bring our hands to the back of our skull, interlacing our fingertips at the webbing. Great. And you're just pretending that you're at a beach. This is going to be a short-lived beach thing. My people with low back, this is low back stuff. This is the thing I want you to pay attention to. Similarly, people with hip flexor stuff, I want you to pay attention to this. Cross your left ankle over the top of your right thigh. So like you're doing a figure 4, left ankle over the top of the right thigh. Go ahead and flex through that right foot a lot. Now you're going to start to hug in towards your midline. So front ribs are going to hug towards your pelvis. Pelvis is going to hug towards your ribs. As you inhale, you're going to lift your right leg up towards the sky. Aha, fantastic. And as you exhale, the leg is going to go all the way back down, hovering a millimeter above the floor. Fantastic. Now we're going to make this harder. Now, as you come up this time, you're going to resist. So your left ankle is going to push into your right thigh, saying, no, I don't want to go. Yay. And then when you go back down, it's going to just happily go to the floor, but it doesn't just flop. It just hovers. Yep. And then it's going to come back, and that left ankle is going to resist. No, I don't want to go. Aha. And then it just floats back down. It's going to go again, and that left ankle is going to resist. No, I don't want to go. Yeah. And it's going to go back down. And we're going to pretend this is our last one. No, I don't want to go. And then it's going to float back down. Okay, I lied. Actually, you have to go one more. Okay, this one is our last one. No, I don't want to go. Come up. Okay, we're going to stay here this time. Now, this time you're going to push that ankle into the thigh. You're going to push that thigh into the ankle, and you're going to breathe here. You're going to breathe. We're going to breathe for 3. We're going to breathe for 2. We're going to breathe for 1. Fantastic. Wait. Now, this time we're going to reverse it. So now you're going to resist on the way down, and then it floats back up. What? I know, we got 5 of these. So it resists on the way down, and then it floats straight back up. Yep. Resists down. Yep. And then floats back up. Awesome sauce. I think we got 2 more. Resist down. Come back up. I know. The sad thing is I'm going to give you a slight break, but when I learned this, we didn't do a break. So the next time your right leg is up, you're going to pause there. Fantastic. Bend your right shin so it's parallel-ish to the floor. So now you're in that figure 4 shape that we all love. Oh, you're going to rest. Okay. But your hands are still at the back of your head. No, you're not. No, we're not resting, Sandy. I don't know. Which you guys asked for outer hip strength. Do we remember this last week? No, we don't remember that. Change our mind. Okay. Awesome. You did say you were going to complain about it. That is actually true. Okay. So the last thing that we're going to do is you have the option of keeping your head down. So we're going to keep our head down for the first 2. So as you resist, you're going to kick your leg out and hover it an inch above the floor. So you're going to resist, kicking your right leg out, and then exhale, it comes back to that figure 4. Nope, it straightens. Yep, so the right leg straightens as it comes towards the floor, and then it bends. Now, if that was good, you will stay there. Otherwise, you might lift your chest and look towards your pubic bone and then do that. So you're still resisting as you go forward. What are we doing? You're resisting, you're kicking your left thigh into your right thigh as you go forward. So you're resisting going down. And then the next time you straighten your right leg, we're going to hover there for 3. We're going to hover there for 2. We're going to hover there for 1. Fantastic. Draw the knees back. Release the foot to the floor, the other foot to the floor. Now you get your rest, Sandy. That was great. Okay, so we got a great, and we got that was a painful. That was amazing. Steve, how are you doing at home? You okay over there? He's got 2 thumbs up. Yay! All right. So now we're going to try the other leg. Yay! So go ahead and extend your legs long on the floor beneath you. Interlace your hands at the back of your head. You're at a beach, at least for 5 seconds before we try to do some stuff. So hands interlaced at the back of your head, and you just take a moment to breathe. And then when you're ready, we're going to try the other side. So this time our right ankle is crossing over our left thigh. Go ahead and flex through that left foot. Really press the outer right ankle into the left thigh. And then you're going to cinch your front ribs towards your hips toward your front ribs. And then inhale, float your left leg up towards the sky. Yeah. And then exhale, the leg will go down. Now the next 4, you're going to resist it. So you resist coming up, pressing that right ankle into the left thigh. And then inhale, it floats down. Yeah. And of course, we know that I'm not counting. So you guys are counting for yourselves, pushing, pushing, pushing. And it just floats straight up. Resist. There we go. Well, we're breathing. I can hear you. We're doing so great. Okay. Next time, that was 5. Okay. The next time you're up, you're going to pause there. So now you're going to flex that left ankle, right ankle into your left thigh, right thigh into the left ankle, pushing, 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 seeing if you can reach up through your big toes. And we're going to breathe for 3. We're going to breathe for 2. We're going to breathe for 1. Okay, now we reverse that. So now you resist as you go down, and then it floats straight up. Yeah. And you've got about 5 of these. And you're just noticing how that feels. And the slower you can move, so don't just jerk it up, the more control we're building the muscles. There we go. And I think we have 2 more. All right, we'll say this is our last one. All right, now once your left leg is up, let's go ahead and bend our left knee so our shin is parallel-ish to the floor. And then you're going to still keep pushing your right ankle into the left thigh into your right ankle. So you're doing figure 4, but without your hands, and you're seeing how this feels. And the option is always to keep your head on the floor, but when you're ready, you're going to resist this. So you're going to kick your left leg forward parallel to the floor. And then it inhales and floats back up. So we've got 5 of these. Okay, and so we did the first 2 with your head down. And then if you'd like, with the hands interlaced behind your back, you can look towards your pubic bone. And again, you're resisting and coming up. And resisting and coming up. Fantastic. You are done. Go ahead and release the feet. Go ahead and take a moment to feel how that feels. Lots of energy, I'm assuming. That's what? Yeah, our next thing hopefully should help with that. So let's go ahead and plant our feet hip distance apart. Okay, bring your hands alongside your torso. Walk your hands a little bit off your mat and turn your palms to face up. I want you to feel how your shoulder blades are onto the back of the floor. Feel how your feet press into the floor. And then when you inhale, you'll slowly roll up the spine to lift your hips. And then as you exhale, you'll slowly roll down. We've got 5 of these. We're just trying to find our hamstrings now. So we really stretched and strengthened our quadriceps up in the front, the hip flexors on the front. And now we're trying to do the back of the body to try to create a natural stretch for the thing that we just worked. Yeah, I'm guessing that was 3. Okay. Yep, keep breathing, that's 4. And this last one will stay up is 5. Fantastic. Now, so what I want you to pay attention to now is how much of your upper shoulder blade can you bring onto the floor so your collarbones are happy and open. And then press the backs of the arms wherever they are into the mat. And then you're going to bring all your awareness to your left foot. Press into your left big toe mound and pinky toe evenly. Now, without shifting your hips, see if you can lift your right leg straight up to the sky. Yeah, don't let that hip drop. Yep. And then slowly bend the knee and plant the foot back down. Keep the hips this height. Draw the weight into your left foot and then slowly float your other leg up. Sorry, other right leg. Sorry. There we go. And then slowly lower it down. And you've got 4 more sets of these. And you don't want your hips to drop. And you want to pay attention to the supporting leg, really pressing down evenly through the foot. And you're just pausing and you're breathing. Are we breathing? Keep the hips up. Yep, you guys are doing great. I think we have 1 more set. Don't let the hips drop. There you go. Awesome. After you've done both sets, both sides, keep both feet on the floor. Pause. Nice work. Okay, so now that you're here, I want you to imagine that for some reason I'm telling you to lift all 10 of your toes up and away from the floor. Feel how the backs of your hamstrings engaged. Pull your heels isometrically towards your heart and then lift the backs of your knee pits up. And do we suddenly find our hamstring? Yes, we do. Hooray. People are making big breaths. And you're going to breathe for 3. You're going to breathe for 2. You are breathing for 1. As you're ready, gently release the toes, gently unroll the spine. And then here's your rest. And then just breathe and you notice. And I'm sure you don't feel your hip flexors so much. Now you feel the backs of your legs. Hooray. Okay. Fantastic. Now from here, let's go ahead and draw our knees into our chest, Apanasana. And just feel how this feels. There's more compression in the front. And then again, bring your hands to the inside edges of your thighs, grab the outer edges of your feet, press the feet, the soles of the feet, specifically the pinky toes into each other. Widen your knees away from your armpits and see how heavy you can make your tuchus into the floor and the back of the head and the back of the shoulders. Great. Now, if you can, if you're holding on to the outer right foot, open your right knee towards the right side of the mat and your right foot up towards the sky for this weird, awkward, half happy baby. Notice what's happening in the inner and the outer edges of your right thigh hip region. And then gently draw the feet back towards each other and then try it on the left side. And again, you're just pausing and you're breathing. You're keeping the weight in your right hip even as you open the left knee out. Yep. Draw both knees back together and then draw both feet out for Ananda Balasana, happy baby. And then just notice how this feels. Sometimes you might feel a different sensation happening in the hips with both legs versus just one at a time. Yeah, and are we breathing? Fantastic. Okay. Very gently, you'll draw the knees back into the chest. Give yourself a nice little huggy-do. And then go ahead and extend your legs long. Okay. What is the best way to do this? Let's all roll over onto our left side. See if I can put myself there, Erica. So I want you to line your bodies up with the back edges of your mat. So your head, your shoulders, and your butt. Head, shoulders, and butt. And you want enough room so that you can prop up your head with your forearm and hold your head with your arm. So like you're sitting in a beach, but your head, back up, Erica, your shoulders, your head, your hips are all in line with the back edge of your mat. And then you're going to bring your feet in front of you, I don't know, just a few inches. Great. So the further forward your feet come, the easier this becomes. So you get to modulate that for you. If you want it super hard, your feet are towards the back of the mat, a little easier, feet come forward. Now, from there, we're going to do, I'm not going to kick you, okay, I'm just going to stay here for a moment. So we're going to come up.
Jessica, you went to mute.
Can you hear me now, Steve? Okay. That was five. Okay. So the next time you are back with your leg in arabesque is what we call the dancer. You're going to stay there. Make sure your hips haven't rolled back. So come forward with your hip, your top hip. Squeeze your back butt cheek and kick your leg back. We're going to breathe here for 3. We're going to breathe here for 2. We're going to breathe here for 1. Awesome sauce. Draw your legs back together and release the feet to the floor. Fantastic. Cool. Next thing, this is our Pilates foray. So still in this position, you're going to lift your top leg, squeeze your legs, externally rotate the leg. And this will depend upon how open your hips are. But you're going to inhale, you're going to pick the foot up, turn it up, turn it up, and then exhale slowly come down. We've got 5 of these. And so I have not a lot of rotation in my hips. So my foot actually comes forward of my face quite a bit. So you're paying attention to what's happening for you so your hips don't roll back. There we go. Yep. Roll back. Don't roll back in the hips. Funny. Push you down here for a lot so your hips don't roll back. Yeah. Fantastic. And the thighs. Time your leg is up. Stay there. We'll breathe for 3. Squeeze your top toes for 2. Push your bottom foot down for 1. Awesome. And then slowly lower foot all the way down. Down. Yeah. Fantastic. Okay. Last one. Let's go ahead and float our top leg a few inches up. And we want to make sure our hips don't roll back. So you're going to squeeze your tuchus a little bit. And then externally rotate that leg. And now, this is going to sound super awkward, but you're going to try to brush your thighs together by creating little circles. So create little circles. And we're going to do 10 of these. We're not letting our whole torso move around. So pushing down on the top hand. And you're squeezing your top leg cheek. Move up 5. And 4. And 3. That's good. And 2. And 1. And then reverse it. We there. Yeah, for 6. For 5. For 4. For 3. For 2. For 1. Fantastic. Bend the top foot. Bend the top knee. Plant the top foot in front of you on the floor. As awkwardly as you can, grab that top ankle with your top hand. Great. Now you're going to slide your bottom leg all the way back in line with your mat. And then you're going to lift your long leg up parallel-ish or higher to the floor. Fantastic. Now we're going to see if we can lift that leg up and then lower it halfway down. We've got 10 of these. Up and lower down. Lift up and lower down. Up and lower down. Lift up and lower down. Lift up and lower down. I don't think Steve can hear me anymore. Lift up and lower down. 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 Once you lift that leg, go ahead and stay there and create 5 little circles. And now you'll notice that that top hip wants to slide back. So don't let the top hip slide back. Let it stay exactly as it is. And then after you've done 5, go ahead and switch directions. Roberta, are these AirPods Pro or Beats Fits Pro?
I can hear you. I just missed all the cueing. And I couldn't see you.
And then, oh, there we go. Now I can hear.
You're usually connected to the phone, not the computer.
Because I hear myself twice.
I could hear you before, but when you went, I missed all the cueing. So I could hear you fine. But earlier when I lost you, I just missed all the cueing.
Now it's
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Cool. Awesome. We'll try that again. I won't touch my head. If I touch my head, then you lose me.
It's doing.
That's okay. I'm sorry. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're now all on our abdomen. And this is our momentary reprieve. Go ahead and bring your hands underneath your forehead, heads up, 7-up style. Press your pubic bone down into the mat. And then we're gonna lengthen our legs back behind us as best as we can. Okay, fantastic. And then from here, let's engage all muscles around our legs. Reach our legs so far back that they float up and away from the floor. Fantastic. You're pressing your pubic bone down and you're drawing your low belly in. And then as you inhale, you're gonna open your feet to the outer edges of your mat, whole legs open out, and then exhale, hug them in. And you're gonna do that as fast as you can for 10, 9, 8, yep, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fantastic. Hold the legs back. Hold up for 3, for 2, for 1. Lower down. Great. Let's try this all on the other side. So now you're going to extend your right arm forward, roll over onto your right side. Line up your right elbow, your right shoulder, your butt cheek with the back edge of your mat. And then you extend your legs in front of you, whatever degree works best for you. Okay. Not touch my head this time. And then from here, you're going to lift your top leg up, and it's just going to hover a few inches above the bottom leg. Our top arm is pressing into the floor to draw our front ribs back into the back edges of our mat. And then you're going to squeeze your top butt cheek to externally rotate your leg just a bit, and your bottom foot is still super, super active. So flex, Barbie, point through that foot and press the knife edge of your foot down into the floor. Yeah, fantastic. Now from here, you're going to inhale and flex and kick the foot forward. And then exhale, send the leg back to behind you in an arabesque-ish shape. And you've got 5 of these. And the task of this is to make sure that as we go back, our hips don't go forward and that we're pressing down into our top hand to draw our front ribs back. Here's our Pilates exercising for the day. Yeah, nice control there, Pam. Like in a bad way or like? Here, try laying on a blanket and see if that helps. Yeah, I noticed that one of my hips, like I need more padding. Have we done 5? Sorry, Roberta. So go back and you'll hold there and you'll breathe for 3. You'll breathe for 2. You'll breathe for 1, gently release. Where do you feel the clicking? Okay. When we do this, I want you to try to engage the muscle group here more. Okay. So now let's go ahead and lift our top leg a few inches above the bottom leg, hovering it. Externally rotate the thigh so you're squeezing your under butt and your toes are pointing more towards the ceiling. And then you'll inhale and kick your foot towards the sky. And then exhale, come back down. How does that feel on the side? Okay. And then you've got about 5 of these. And the task is to not let your hips roll back. Yeah. So our hips want to roll back when this happens. So we might need to bring our foot a little further forward. Ugh. So the top leg. Yeah, there you go. So then the butt doesn't strip back. Now we're just trying 5 of these. And then once you've done 5, because we all know I'm not counting, we're going to stay up on the forward. There we go. And you'll hold for 3. You'll hold for 2. You'll hold for 1 and slowly bring it all the way back down with control. Nice job. And then once the feet come down, you take a momentary pause before we do our little rond de jambes is what they're called in ballet, which you'll go ahead and lift your body or your top leg up. Externally rotate the thigh, Barbie point through the foot. And then you've got 10 little circles where you are trying to brush your inner thighs towards each other. So 10 and 9 and 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch directions and 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fantastic. Relax. Go ahead and bend your left knee, plant the left foot on the floor in front of you, grab your left foot with your right hand, or sorry, left hand, and then slide your right foot back behind you so it's in line with your hip / back edge of your mat. And then as best as you can, you're going to lift that under leg all the way up as high as you can, finding our adductor muscles. And then go ahead and lower it halfway and lift up. And we've got 10 of these. And the more you can flex through that foot, I think flex, it seems easier for me, but if you want to floint, Sandy, you can floint. It just seems like it helps me get the whole inner thigh a little higher. And then this next one, you're going to stay there and take your 5 little circles. And this feels always awkward to me. I don't know why my circle seems so awkwardly not circular, but yeah. And then after you've done 5 one direction, go the other way. And you're trying to keep that bottom leg as straight as possible. And then you'll go ahead and hold it up for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. Release. No more of that. Lay down on your abdomen. This time, bring your hands alongside your rib cage. And then you're going to go ahead and widen your feet about hip distance apart. Externally rotate your thighs, so your heels come in and your toes go out. And lightly squeeze your back butt cheeks, that area that we were just working. Now press your pubic bone down and lengthen your tailbone back. And with your hands slightly next to your rib cage, draw your shoulders up towards your ears and draw your shoulder blades together on your back. And you can hover your head a few inches off the floor so your ears are in line with your shoulders. Now again, you'll reach so far back through the toes that you can reach the feet up and away from the floor. Legs stay long. And then inhale, you'll open the legs out. And exhale, hug them in. And we've got 10 of these. So these little beats. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fantastic. When the legs come back together, turn them parallel. Bring your hands alongside your ribs if they're not there and hover your hands a few inches off the floor. Slide your tailbone back, hug the shoulder blades together on the back and lift your head a little higher. Now slide your hands back, plant your hands on the floor, push the arms to straight, bring the tops of the feet to the floor, open through the heart and come into your upward facing dog. Fantastic. For 3, for 2, for 1. Nice work. Curl the toes under, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. First down dog of the whole day. And just notice how that feels. Probably feels so much better to be something in a shape we're more accustomed to, lifting up and out of the armpits, maybe bending at the knees just a bit to lift the hips up and back to where the wall and the ceiling meet. Nice work. Then you just pause and you breathe and you notice what you notice. Fantastic. So utilizing all that core work we just built, take a big breath in here. As you exhale, draw your right knee to your nose. Plant your right foot between your hands. Now you might bring your hands to your blocks, or you might keep your hands on the floor, but you're gonna bend your back knee. So you've got 2 90-degree angles going on, front knee, back knee. And then you're gonna start to curl up the spine to bring your hands onto the belly of your right thigh. Fantastic. Now we're gonna pause here. And we're going to bend, straighten your back leg. And then you're going to bend your back knee. And you're going to straighten your back leg. And are we breathing? So inhaling to bend, exhaling to straight. Inhaling to bend, tailbone drops down, exhale to straight. Fantastic. Last one. Inhale to bend, exhale to straight. And you're going to pause here for 3. See if you can lift the chest for 2. See if you can release the hands for 1. And see if you can reach your arms up and overhead. For 0, yeah, I guess so. And then on your next exhale, plant the palms, step back, downward facing dog, and pause. And you just notice what you notice. How's the breath? How's the body? How are you? Fantastic. And then we'll try the other side. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, left knee to nose. Plant the foot between your hands. Now, hands maybe to the floor or blocks. Bend your back knee. Hovering that back knee a few inches off the floor, and then start to roll up the spine, bringing the hands to the belly of that left thigh. And then you'll go ahead and inhale and exhale. And you just notice how this feels. We reverse the breath and see if that feels any different to you. Okay, we've got one more. Awesome. The next time your leg is straight, pause there, take a deep breath. Notice if you can lift the chest a little bit more. Maybe release the hands. Maybe reach the arms up and overhead. Fantastic. Next exhale, hands come back down to the floor. Step yourself back to downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward into plank pose. Exhale through chaturanga. Inhale into up dog or cobra. And exhale back to downward facing dog. How does it feel to be back into something that feels a little bit more rhythmic, a little bit more natural, a little bit more familiar to us? Sometimes we have to do these things that take us out of our routine so that we can be present, so that when we go back into the things that feel more familiar to us, we're more alert, we're more awake. Take one more breath cycle here. And then at the end of your next exhalation, bend your knees and start to walk to the top of your mat. When you get to the top of your space, go ahead and separate your feet hip distance apart. And then from here, slide your hands up, your shin bones, lift your spine parallel-ish to the floor. Pay attention to how your feet are rooting into the floor, specifically paying attention to the inner edge and the outer edge. Are they even? Can you draw your shoulders away from your ears? Can you draw your low belly in to support the back and your head out of your crown? Head out of your crown, head out of your neck. From here, bring one hand to one hip, the other hand to the other hip, send your pubic bone back, your heart forward, and come up to stand. And then just take a moment to calibrate. So really root down through the feet and really drop the tailbone down, lift the sternum up. Okay. From here, grab your block. And we're going to put our block in between our shin bones on the first or the second setting. Okay. And then I want you to lift all 10 toes again, really root into the big toe mound, pinky toe mound, and layer down through the rest of the toes. You'll start to bend your knees and sit your butt back as best as you can. And then you might just see if you can lengthen your spine out of your hips. You might then release your arms. And then however you want to, arms alongside your ears or Utkatasana chair pose. And this is going to sound weird, but I want you to see if you can slide your pubic bone down and back behind you. And see if that gives you more length in your back. And see if you can breathe. And we're squeezing into that block and we're pushing down into our feet. And we're seeing what that feels like. On your next in-breath, stand up, reach up, look up. Fantastic. And as you exhale, interlace the hands and bring the hands to the back of your head. And again, holding your head in your hands, maybe leaning back. You're in a beach. You're in a very nice, comfortable position. That's about to change. Shift your weight to your left foot. You're going to squeeze your right shin into your left shin and see if you can hover your right foot off the floor for an inch. Fantastic. Recenter your head if it's not. Really root down through the inside edge of your left foot. Now you're going to do a contraction of the core. The block is going to drop. Your knee, right knee, is going to come to your chest. Fantastic. Hands come to the front of your right shin bone. Keep rooting through your left foot. Squeeze your right knee in. Now once you feel there, you're going to let go. Look, Ma, no hands for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. Grab the front of your shin again. Pull the knee a little higher. Flex through that right foot. See if you can keep the leg there without dropping. Let go for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. Last one. Pull the knee a little higher, maybe externally rotate it a little bit. So half happy baby-ish shape, rooting through the left foot. Let go, hold for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. Release. Shake that out. Are we ready to kill me yet? Hands like, oh, it happened a long time ago. Okay. Like, that already happened. Okay, we're gonna try. Yeah, so 10 minutes into practice. Okay. We'll try that again. So let's go ahead and bring our block, putting it into the shin bone middle section, hands on our hips. And you're just gonna bend your knees. And I want you to this time to see how much you can send your butt back. And you might lift your toes in this position now and just really feel what it feels like to push down the big toe mound, spread out through the pinky, and let the other toes go down. And then hug your inner and outer shins into that block. Send your pubic bone back here, a heart lifts up, and then maybe you release the hands. And maybe the arms reach up and over the head in whatever way feels best for you. And we just pause and we breathe for 3. We lengthen up through the pinky fingers for 2. We open up through the heart for 1. When you're ready, push down through the legs, straighten the legs, look up, and then take awkward opposite interlace. Hands come to the back of your head. And you just take a few breaths to lean back. And then go ahead and center your head this time. Squeeze into your block, shift the weight to the right foot. Again, keep hugging that left shin in, flexing through the left foot, and you hover it for a few breaths. And just notice how that feels. Yeah, and then this will all happen at once. You'll contract the core. The left knee will come to the chest. The block will go to the floor. Yeah. Bring your hands to the front of your left shin bone. Really root through the inner edge of that right foot. Hug the knee there, flex the foot. And then ready, look, ma, no hands for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. Nice job. Front of the left shin. Hug the knee a little higher. Keep the leg there. Root through the right foot. Let go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job. Last time. Wobbling is fantastic. Maybe externally rotate the leg a little bit so it's half happy baby. And then let go for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. Yay! Release that. Okay. Go ahead and move around. You can get rid of that block for a moment. That wasn't so bad. That's because we did the other shit to do that, Sandy. So Steve, Sandy said that whole thing here was super easy. Oh.
So, maybe that's one of those. Can't do anything.
Fair enough. Are we ready to move on? Or do we need a break? Okay. So what went? Oh. Okay. Well, we're just going to do tree pose so Jenny can catch up for that. So we'll shift our weight, standing at the top of our space, shift your weight to your left leg, float your right leg up, hands to heart center. And then you're really trying to squeeze your right hip, heel to your hip, then externally rotate the leg. And see if you can plant that foot somewhere on the inside edge of your left thigh without using your hand. Notice where it goes. If that's not where you want it, use your hand and replay on tip. Now, we're going to really pay attention, to rooting down through the inside edge of your left foot. So if you push your left foot down, that engages the inside edge of your left thigh a lot. And then you can drop the right knee down as you press the right foot into the left thigh, and then hug your outer left hip in. And then if you want to move your arms somewhere else, by all means, go ahead and do that, but we'll pause and breathe here for 3. Coming out of it's okay for 2. For 1, fantastic. And then gently come out of that, and then we'll try that on the other side. So shift your weight over to the right foot. You draw your left knee up, it just floats up. And then you're trying to squeeze your heel to your hip, and then externally rotate that. Keep squeezing your heel towards your butt and see where you can plant that foot. Yeah. And then notice if you like that spot, and if not, hey, adjust it. That was better on that side. Cool. And then we're paying attention to what's happening on the inside edge of our right foot. So that whole right foot is really rooted down. And then that engages the inside edge of the right leg. And then the left knee can drop. And then the left foot can press into the right thigh. Yeah, and then take your arms wherever you want. And then notice if you can soften your face. And then if you can breathe. And wobbling is part of the balance. For 3. Relax your face for 2. Maybe lift your gaze for 1. And very gently release. Oh, crap. I keep hanging up on poor Steve. Steve, can you still hear me? Yes, okay. Fantastic. All right, the last thing before we start to wind down is I want you to go ahead and stand on your right leg, bend your left knee. Just take a little standing quad stretch. Just feel how that feels. What? Yeah, right? It's surprising. This is like fantastic. And this isn't even that deep most of the time. You're like, wow, this is amazing. And then you go ahead and release that. We'll try the other one. So we were talking, Roberta and I, before class. It's amazing how if you put things in different orientations in the sequence, it has a drastically different effect. And this pose, generally, most of you would not feel super relieved by it. But right now, it's like, yeah, or not. And it's just looking at me like, whatever. Okay, and I release that. And then our last little thing while we're standing, let's go ahead and grab both of our blocks. Now, this is the one that, Roberta, you might want to try both and just see how it feels. You're going to separate your feet about outer hip distance apart. And this shape, I really like this shape. It's really fun. But you're going to put the blocks into your hip creases. And you're going to push your hips back, your blocks into your thighs and your bellies, and then you're just going to let yourself fall over your blocks. Oh, right? Isn't that freaking fantastic? It gives this like really fun stretch in my back and into my sacrum and my butt area. It's very crazy. And then you might work towards straightening your legs or not, but you play with how that feels to you in terms of opening up your spine and opening up your breath and letting your head be the heavy ball that it is. And Steve, did you put the blocks in your hip crease? I can't see. I don't think you can hear me. I don't know if he can hear me. Steve, can you give me a thought? No, he can hear me. You're good, Roberta. Okay. And then you're just going to stay here. And some of you will stay still and some of you will move around a little bit, maybe bending one knee and then straightening another. Well, the other, you only have two legs. And then you'll just see how that feels. This is what? Oh, fantastic. I like when I teach you guys new things after all these years. That's fantastic. And then you're just noticing what that feels like. And then we're going to slowly come out of this. So you're going to have to start to prepare yourself to come out of this. So you might start to walk your hands back up your thighs, back to the blocks, bending through the knees, pushing through the legs, pushing through the blocks. Oh, right. We're good. All right. And then let's go ahead and put our blocks down. For time-wise, I wanted to try something else that was kind of hard, but I don't know if we want to try that.
I mean,
I'll just show it to you guys and we'll see how it goes. So we're going to start in Utkatasana, hands to heart center. You're going to shift your weight over to one leg and then the leg is going to come out. We're doing something the dancers would call a mini rond de jambe. So you're going to draw the leg back behind you and then you're going to draw the leg back. And we're going to do 3 of those. When it comes back the third and final time, you're going to start to shift your weight forward and come into a warrior 3. And then we're going to reverse all that, come back to Utkatasana. No. We can either turn sideways or we can stagger. So whatever you want to do, but our legs are not taking up too much space. It's literally just a rond de jambe. All right, so are we ready to try this? Our blocks are here in case if you're just like, Jessica, I want some support and it brings the floor higher to us. So we're going to start by going ahead and sitting in our Utkatasana, our chair pose. And for the sake of brevity, everybody's hands to heart center. Really tone your outer hips and start to shift your weight to your right foot so that you can extend your left leg out in line with your right foot. Now flex through that right foot, sorry, left foot, hovering it up. And then you're going to sweep it back behind you, internally rotating it. And then you'll come back out to the left. And you've got 3 of these. So you work at whatever pace works for you. You're hugging your outer hip. You're keeping your heart sort of in this weird diagonal shape. And we'll say that this is our last one. So when that leg goes back, start to push your sternum forward into your thumbs, lift through the inner left thigh, and come forward into your Virabhadrasana 3. We'll breathe for 3. We'll breathe for 2. We'll breathe for 1. When you're ready to come out, start to bend the supporting leg, the right leg, lower the left leg a little bit, reach the left leg to the left, and then lower the foot back down. Go ahead and stand up.
Keep saying we're gonna do that.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
Try the other side. Okay. So again, starting your chair pose, hugging the outer hips in, shifting the weight to your left leg, and then extending the right leg out, lifting the right leg a few inches up and away from the floor, and then you're going to draw the right leg behind you and drawing the right leg back to the right. Yeah, and you're hugging that outer left hip for stability and support. Yeah. This is fantastic. Last time, you'll stay there. You'll start to push your sternum forward into your thumbs, lift the inner right thigh, hinging at the hips for warrior 3 for 3, lifting out of the left hip for 2, for one. Nice work. Start to bend the left knee. Lower the right leg. Draw the right leg back to the right. Plant the right foot next to the left. Go ahead and stand. Yeah, it wasn't that bad. Cool. All right, down dog. You just did, Pam. We did very much a dancer's warm up, actually. We did Pilates, we did some core work, we did warm up. All right, inhale, come forward into plank. Exhale through chaturanga. Inhale to upward facing dog or cobra, and then downward facing dog. That wasn't so bad. Okay, you'll go ahead and lower your knees down. And go ahead and come up to sit. Wasn't so bad. Okay, so we're gonna sit for a moment in toe squat. So go ahead and I love the grunts. I mean, I feel like after all of that, toe squat doesn't seem like that. It's just like, okay, whatever. So this is your first few press cycles. You can do whatever the heck you want with your arms. We're just trying to open up the feet. And you're gonna breathe. You're just gonna be here in this shape. All right. And then we'll gently come out of it. Come forward onto hands and knees. Pitter patter the tops of your toes. Take a counter stretch if you'd like. Oh man. All right. And then we'll plop the feet on our block in Virasana. And so you can sit however you like, but you want to make sure that both your sit bones are rooted. We'll bring our left foot in front of us for today. And we're not going to be here long, but if you need to remove the flesh from underneath your right knee joint, please go ahead and do that. Then go ahead and lean both hands back. Pay attention to how your left foot is connecting with the floor. Pay attention to how your right foot and right shin are connecting with the floor. And let's all turn our fingertips forward just for today. And then I want you to push down into your hands, push down into your foot, push down into your shin, and see if you can lift your pelvis up for a little quad stretch. We're just going to take a few of those. You lower, lift your butt. Do we feel a quad stretch or we got nothing? Okay. And just lifting and lowering. And you want to keep your right knee touching the floor the whole time. There we go. And then this last time, you'll just come up and you'll stay there for a few breaths. Push down through your hands, draw your shoulder blades together on your back, and maybe you look toward your belly button, maybe you look forward, and maybe you look up towards the sky. Those are three options. Sorry, Jenny. We're like, how do I do all of those? Okay. And then go ahead and lower the pelvis back down. Come back up to sit. Free the right leg. And then go ahead and bring the left shin to the floor. And then again, we're not going to be here long, but if you need to, remove the flesh from behind the back of the left kneecap. And walk your hands back behind you, fingertips pointing forward. Pay attention to how your right foot is connecting into the floor. Pay attention to how your left knee and left shin is connecting to the floor. And then we'll go ahead and inhale, lift the butt, and lower down. We've got a few of those. We want to keep the left knee connected as much as possible to the floor. Trying to say hello to our quadriceps. I think we have one more. And then this next one, you'll go ahead and stay there. And you'll push down through the hands, draw the shoulder blades together on the back. You might look towards your belly button. You might look forward along the floor, or you might start to draw your gaze up towards the ceiling. Awesome sauce. Go ahead and gently lower your butt back down. Walk your hands forward. Come out of this shape, releasing the left foot to the floor. Is that okay? Okay. Now butt comes to the floor, last thing. Let's go ahead and cross our shin bones at a 90-degree angle. And you'll want to walk your feet forward so that your feet are roughly underneath your knees. And for some of you, you might want the blocks. Like I can't have a lot of compression in my hips, so I like having the blocks here. Some of you will be able to just fold forward and just fold forward. So you choose whatever works for you. Either blocks there or just fold forward. We're looking for an opening on your outer hips and your butt. Me, having the blocks allows me to do that. For some of you, not having the blocks there, so standing, you might put your elbows there and feel like you're getting an opening in your outer butt. You guys are getting upper? Cool.
Yes.
That's outer butt. Okay, then maybe remove the blocks and see if you get outer butt. No? Okay. Let me just pause and you breathe. And then gently you're gonna start to come out of this. Notice whatever shin bone is in front and switch. And again, we're trying to make sure our knees are underneath our ankles. Knees are underneath our ankles are underneath our knees. And then you'll try the other side. That'll be funny. And you just pause and you breathe. So it goes outer butt. You might also feel it along the spine. And you just pause. You just pause and you breathe. Fantastic. And gently come out of this. You were using the blocks, remove the blocks. Uncross your legs and extend your legs forward and sit for Dandasana staff pose. And you might want to make sure your blocks are nowhere in front of you. And this is kind of mean, so I'm sorry that we're doing this, but we're going to do this. You're going to bring your hands back behind you. Plant both feet on the floor. Again, feet are hip distance apart. Pay attention to how the inner and outer edges of your feet are connecting with the floor. Fingertips are facing forward. You're going to bend your knees. Bend your elbows, hug the elbows towards each other, shoulder blades on your back, and then inhale, push through the feet, push through the hands with the hips. Now this one, we're going to keep looking at our pubic bone, and I want you to pay attention to your left foot, really rooting through the inside edge of your left foot, squeezing your left butt cheek, and see if you can float your right leg up without dropping your hips. Oh yeah, I know, and then lower that down. Only got 2 more times. Don't let your hips drop. Yep, sorry. Keep pushing through the inside edge of the foot that's on the floor. 3 weeks later, what? Yeah, sorry. All right, so once you lower both, if you've done both sets, equal number, lower your feet down, push your hands down, push your hips down, keep looking at your belly button, roll your shoulder blades together on the back, and then maybe start to look towards the sky. And then gently lower down. Turn around and lay down on your back. What? That hurts the shoulders. Oh man. Did that hurt anybody else? You didn't really. You guys are hilarious. Okay, so when you lay down on your back, we're going to start by just doing a simple supine twist. So you're going to bend both of your knees and plant your feet firmly on the floor. Go ahead and open your arms out into a T shape. Now push through your feet, lift your hips, slide your butt to the right, and put your butt back down. And let both legs fall over towards the left. And for today, I want you to stack the knees right on top of each other. And then try to create a 90-degree angle with those thighs as compared to your torso. And then you might bring your left hand on top of your right thigh. And then you might push down into your head to lift your shoulders up and slide your left shoulder blade more to the left so that your right shoulder blade can suddenly find the floor more. And then some of you will be happy there. Some of you will pull your left hand into your right thigh and maybe lift your right thigh a few inches away from the floor. Keep pulling down as you kick up and rotating your head towards the right. And your right knee goes towards the left. So you're really driving your knee opposite of the twist, or rather into the twist. The right knee goes to the left side, your head maybe goes to the right. Fantastic. And then gently release that. Go ahead and come back onto your back. Take a moment to notice how you feel in the center. And we'll try all that on the other side. So push down through your feet, lift your hips, slide your butt to the left, put your butt back down, and allow the legs to fall over to the right. And you're trying to find that 90-degree angle in the hips, so the knees actually come pretty high up. And then you might stay there. You might bring your right hand on top of your left thigh. You might then push into the back of your head, lift your right shoulder, slide it to the right, so that the left shoulder now can make more contact with the floor. You might stay there. You might flex, or rather pull that right hand into the left thigh and start to lift the left thigh away from the resistance, flexing through that left foot. What's that noise? And then turn your gaze towards the left. And then just pause and you breathe. Nice work. And then very gently release that. Come back to center, re-square your bum underneath your shoulders. And then walk your feet outside of your hips, wrap your arms around your body, constructive rest. Let the arms rest wherever is comfortable on your torso. Maybe letting the elbows rest into each other, the elbows rest into the chest, the knees rest into each other. And after you've taken about 3 breaths here, you'll notice which arm is on top. You'll then inhale and switch the cross of your arms. And then you'll just pause and you'll breathe and you'll notice how that feels. And then as you're in this final shape, you'll check in with yourself to see what you want your final shape to be. You might want to take a supported bridge and just that be your final shape. You might want legs up the wall to be your final shape. Might want Supta Baddha Konasana or Shavasana to be your final shape. But whatever you pick, let it be symmetrical, meaning the right and the left sides are doing the exact same thing. And then when you feel so moved, please make your way to whatever your final shape will be for today. And then just as we started, you'll take the first few moments in the shape to really notice how to get comfortable here, what to do so the right side and the left side feel equally supported. And by equally supported, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're actually doing the exact same thing, but so that they both can rest with the same level of awareness. And then you'll notice what's going on in the mind. Where's the mind? And then you'll take some conscious breaths, maybe some audible exhales from the mouth. And you allow about 3 audible breaths to allow the mind, the body, the breath, the heart, the spirit to all sync up. And then you'll just allow your breath to relax into a natural involuntary rate. And see if you can just keep your awareness on the breath. Do you feel it more in the belly? Do you feel it more in your chest? Do you feel it at the tips of the nostrils? Wherever you feel the breath, just let your awareness rest there. And whenever your mind wanders, as it will, you simply notice that. Label it as thinking and lovingly come back to your breath. I'll leave you here with you for a few more moments and I'll let you know when it's time to come out. Return your awareness to your breath. As you come back to your breath, just take a moment to check in. If there's any part of you longing to linger in this shape, by all means, please stay here. When you are ready to move on, gently allow movement to re-enter into your physical form in whatever way feels nurturing to you. Those in stillness, stay as long as you'd like. Those in movement, just start to make your way to your right side. And then you'll just pause there for a few breath cycles. After you've taken a few breaths, you'll roll your chest more towards the floor, press into your left hand, and start to draw your spine up a bit. When you are more vertical, take the opportunity to elevate your bum on a block or a blanket. And then again, you take the first few breaths to settle into your shape. So where do you need to plant the hands so the heart can remain open? So that your shoulders are stacked over your hips, your ears are over your shoulders. You can drop your tongue in your mouth, slightly separate the jaw so the teeth don't touch. Allow the eyes to soften into the eye socket and the eyelids to soften over the eyeballs. And you bring your left hand to your heart and your right hand to the belly. And you just take 3 breaths here. With everything that we encounter in life, we can just remember that we can just be present with and through it, and that it's there for us. I think it'll help us digest things both physically as well as mentally, emotionally, spiritually. So whatever the things that you carry with you, the things that you are digesting, I want you to just take 3 breaths in, trusting that your full presence to it is more than enough. We'll go ahead and complete our practice with a collective breath, followed by a collective Om. Go ahead and bring the hands to heart center Anjali Mudra. Press the palms into each other, but find a little bit of space between the heels of the hands. Allow the thumbs to rest into your sternum and lift your sternum to your thumbs. Soften your chin so your throat is open, and then gently exhale all the breath from your mouth. Take a big breath in. Audible breath out. Inhale for Om. Join if you'd like. Draw your thumbs to your third eye. May our thoughts be clear. Draw your thumbs to your lips. May our words be kind. And draw your thumbs to your heart center. May our hearts be open. The light, the breath, the presence within me honors and salutes the light, the breath, and the presence within each of you. Namaste.